For 2 years, the family has been searching for answers on how their loved one died in South Dakota.
Ryan Pyle was just passing through the state when first he was reported missing.
Nearly 3 months later, his remains were discovered by hunters in a remote area near the Missouri River. And many things about the 37-year-old's death don't add up. In tonight's KELOLAND News investigation, Angela Kennecke reveals evidence that points to the potential of foul play and talks with his frustrated family about the lack of action in the case.
37-year-old Ryan Pyle was a pizza delivery guy, Frisbee golf enthusiast, and a heck of a guitar player. This is a recording of one of his jam sessions.
We started the voicemails with, "I love you, Dad." You know, he was just good-hearted, not real complicated, but he would give you his shirt if he thought you needed it.
Ryan's dad, Brian Pyle, lives in Washington State, but this is his third trip to South Dakota with his wife, Nikki. They are searching for answers to the question, what happened to Ryan?
What was he doing here?
You know, I'm not sure. I'm not.
Ryan's girlfriend in Fargo had reported him missing on August 8th of 2020. His car later turned up in a cornfield in Gregory County.
And you have no idea why his car was in that cornfield?
I do not. I do not.
Ryan's dog Simba was found alive on the same side of the river as his car.
He loved that dog. Took me everywhere.
But no one knew where Ryan was.
According to this, it's right straight down this gully.
Brian and Nikki took us to a remote area that can only be accessed on foot or by an all-terrain vehicle, where one mystery was solved and another began. 2 hunters stumbled across the remains here in this remote gully 3 months after Ryan was reported missing and his car had been found in the area. Dental records confirmed the remains were those of Ryan Pyle.
His knee was badly hurt, so he was having troubles walking. And what the DCI inspector, Brian Schnabel, said that he walked from where his car was up to the road, across the bridge, and then down the embankment here, down to where the gully was, and then up the gully and died.
Brian provided KELOLAND Investigates with a recording of their family's meeting with Gregory County Sheriff Tim Dray.
All I was told is they were found in a bog and that the body looked like it was in the fetal position. Okay, to me and there was no clothes. So to me, in my mind, somebody laid down, got cold, laid in the mud, got cold. You know, that was in my mind right away as the exposure.
Brian says he's not buying the idea that his son died of hypothermia or exposure, and here's why. The water was nearly 80 degrees, and temperatures were in the 90s at the time. While his bones were found in Charles Mix County, his belongings were across the river in Gregory County. They were strewn around his car, which was found in the cornfield, and many items were missing, including the money he had on him.
We think he had at least $1,500, if not $3,000.
And where's the money?
It disappeared.
What else is missing?
Everything. He had no clothes on him when his remains were found. I've been told over and over that the coyotes would have taken it all.
Brian provided KELOLAND Investigates with his recorded conversation with investigators with the South Dakota DCI.
You would think that maybe we'd find something. But come to find out after consulting with experts across the country that animal predation, especially coyotes will eat everything.
And I have a real hard time believing that.
SODO National coyote experts we consulted with, who say it's unlikely that coyotes carried off every piece of clothing, Ryan's shoes, keys, and anything else he may have had on him. Yet none of those items have ever been found. According to a report from the Gregory County Sheriff's Office, they got a call from someone who saw a hitchhiker on August 12th in the area, and that it was a man wearing a backpack and carrying a guitar. And the man, who was most likely Ryan, wanted to take his pickup, but the owner drove away. The sheriff and deputies looked for the hitchhiker, but never located him. 2 weeks later, Ryan's car was found 2 miles north
of where the hitchhiker was seen. The vehicle was unlocked and had no keys in it.
I believe that somebody could have gone back down there afterwards and beat him to death, and took his money and ransacked his car and threw stuff in the ditch.
Brian's not alone in that belief. He hired private investigator Marty O'Connor out of Yankton to look into the case.
What do you think happened to Ryan Pyle?
I believe he was murdered, and I believe he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, met the wrong group of people, and from that point on, the rest is all in the record books.
According to Ryan's autopsy report, his nose was broken. Brian later took his son's skeletal remains to University of Nebraska forensic anthropologist Bill Belcher for examination.
What do you know about the broken nose? What can you tell from his skeleton?
He just had basically a broken nose that we know that wasn't healing or hadn't healed, so we knew it happened either just before, at the time, or just after death.
I learned that his nose was broken at the time of death. He was scared to death, and he was fighting for his life, and they killed him anyhow.
Belcher plans to bring his graduate students to search the remote area where Ryan's remains were found once the vegetation dies off this fall.
Maybe this clothing is down there at the bottom, maybe additional remains. And so it's not just the bone structures that we're looking for, it's any other type of evidence.
June 29th of this year, I met with DCI in person with the state's attorney from Charles Mix County, Steve Cotton. I asked the DCI agent to his face if in fact this was a closed case. It took a few seconds, but the answer was yes.
To me, DCI hasn't done what I feel that they should have. I mean, for one, they told me they were going to fingerprint and DNA the car. And they could have fingerprinted and done DNA on the garbage that was in the ditch. They didn't even pick it up.
While Ryan's backpack and frisbees were never found, his guitars were. One was 200 yards away from his car, smashed in a cornfield. The other was found a half-mile away in a wooded area.
This is a ball dropped. And what we do when we drop a ball is we pick it up and say, my bust. And we go forward from here, we make things happen. We've got enough evidence here to go forward with what I believe is either an ag assault turned into a murder or vice versa, I'm not sure. But he's got actual injuries that occurred during and at the time of death, confirmed.
That's the part that frustrates me the most. I guess I trusted that they would help and that they would make an earnest effort to help me. And I don't feel that they have. In fact, I feel like they've done everything they can to thwart my efforts.
The family says it's the not knowing that makes Ryan's death even harder to take.
What was he doing here? What happened to him? It's such a question. What happened?
I'd like some help. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. How to find out. Just some answers.
And until those answers come, this family will not rest.
This will never be over for me. Never. Never.
The Pyles hope by sharing details of the case, someone will come forward who knows something. I reached out to the South Dakota Division of Criminal Investigation, who issued us a statement which reads, the DCI has thoroughly investigated every lead in the case of the death of Ryan Pyle. If anyone has any information that might assist the inquiry, they are encouraged to contact the DCI.